Yeah, but the world is also like, again, when you have that city turned over his back on January 6th, you've been moving in there to go for my own place. There was a big, immigrants, that's why they live in the same house in a lot of these cultures, because they take care of the relatives, their grandparents. Family is what takes care of you, because no one else is coming to save you. Your family, your community, and by the way, I don't just mean biological family. In many of these instances, they have big families or adoptive cousins, things like that, but throughout history, human history, we have focused on important, tight-knit communities because that is the functioning unit that allows you to continue to operate, right? Where it's not just one person. Sometimes conservatives, we took that libertarian term, a little bit later on, like, not everything can be individualistic. If we believe in the power of the individual and freedom of the individual, but that doesn't absolve us of our responsibility in really raising, leading, and protecting our own community. Because that's also why libertarianism is a fairy tale. But look, the way of the world is you either instill values and through either mandate or being or someone else will. You see it in Europe, you can't fill a vacuum with nothing. So people all the time are like, just live and let live. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. If you're a society of live and let live, guess what? The people who don't agree with that are going to come in and tell you how to live. So that's what's in safeguards. That's servant of conservatism versus libertarianism. We are conserving our ability to live and let live within our community. It can only work with a strong sense of nationalism and patriotism because you understand the rest of the world doesn't want to live and let live. That's the foundational issue that libertarians miss.
So living that way is not as harsh a swing as saying, no, that's what they would do. And just in case you used to that's completely wrong in the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, because they were never taught to think of it critically as a source of it.
And this is what you believe, not why.
I think they're just followers, man. Yeah.
They become followers instead. Yeah.
Just happens. I think a big part of it, though, too, Dad was, I won't name names, but Johnny Brown, the guy who decided to take a trip across Canada and quit halfway through Toronto. I'm like, this is very far. That's a major step. It's like, I'm going home. Vancouver's not worth it. So even, looking at people at church, or, for parent teacher things, when I was at St. Francis Provo, I never saw anyone else's parents, anyone else's dad, care about anything enough to argue, to stand for something. And people would say, but I knew that my dad and my family was like, okay, well, he actually cares enough to take a stand, whether it was Mrs. Lake blaming the entire Vietnam War on me, remember, because she was anti-American, or, take your pick, whatever it is in church where everyone telling people, like, well, how are you canvassing for the Liberal Party here? Do you know where the policy is on abortion? People in church were just, I saw everyone else just trying to be nice, and I saw their own kids not respect the leadership in the household, and I thought, like, oh, okay, so there is a difference. And part of being a man is picking the issues that you are willing to stand up for and fight for, and I didn't see it anywhere else because Canada is largely a nation of pussies. And I do think that is important because, hey, kids admire that.
But why they are is an important argument. You can't say, they're pussies. No, you're calling names. No, you bowed to a king. This side didn't. Right. And it's completely different the next 300 years. So, where were you arguing? You know where I was 9/11? I was in that pastor's office because a guy, on the weekend after, a guy had spoke at church against money and prosperity for Christians. I said, you can never open up that pulpit to a guy with that kind of message. Yeah. And we talked about it.
And then for his mission trip.
Right. And then the phone started ringing and planes just went in the towers. That's where I was at that time because he had the 50 and everything. He was Pastor Paul. Yeah, I remember that. He went up and said, I think, I would hate to be a millionaire because once you're a millionaire, your only thought is the next million. How many cars do you need? And I was thinking, oh, you're a selfish prick who I hope never becomes a millionaire. That's right. Because all you think about is the material thing. Maybe there's a millionaire out there who says, I can do good with it now. Some of the most generous people I've known in my life who've been the most good have been successful people. And I've known some really selfish bastards who were poor and vice versa. But I remember him doing that and then asking for money because he was going on some mission trip. Like, really just now, I understand the pursuit of money above all. Of course, but he was saying that you should be poor and be content in being poor. Be proud of your humility. Yeah, exactly. Be proud of your humility.
Don't use your little, what's the word? Don't take advantage of people. Of course.
So,
But it's really nice. They always framed it in a way where they never had to have a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
They never had to take a risk instead of business. They never actually had to go out and argue with people about some issues that may be uncomfortable from a faith perspective. It was just, be nice.
And they don't make a difference.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. They can't be used.
That's true.
It's just so, yeah, so that's where I was at that time. And we seem to have to engage all the time there because this was always in your face. I don't know how it would have been in the U.S. Certainly in the conservative part of the world where we are now, maybe we wouldn't have had to have these conversations as much.
Yeah, I mean, put it this way, like imagine people, because I've always been, you can look at my history, grew up in the public eye, but even just here on YouTube, let alone stand-up, you can go back into 2006, 2008, 2009 and see, why were you conservative then? My needs have adapted with new information, but the same principles. Imagine being raised in a place, okay, to fight for everything. Everything. In other words, okay, you're in school, a discussion comes up, freedom of speech. Well, I support freedom of speech. You have to fight. Because no one around you does. Mm-hmm. But, hey, yeah, guns. I remember them coming in and going, hey, a thought experiment where they had like a cardboard cutout of someone and they had the hand covered with a towel and said, what could the other? This was kind of like a Rorschach test. And some kid said, a gun? They go, yes, it could be a very bad thing. And right away, no, I have to fight. But a gun's not a bad thing. Because everyone assumes all guns are bad. Everyone assumes speech is bad. Hey, abortion. Well, also, and I think that there's actually, you got to fight. Because the default position was the left on every single one always.
That's right.
You have, hey, well, also, I think the people said the right to such society and say, you have to fight. Hey, I actually think that America is a country. You have to fight. Every single opinion that you would hold as a conservative where I was raised was completely discounted. There was no one else even agreeing with you a little. Probably quite argumentative.
Fun little aside for you guys. Stephen won a speaking competition talking about the Canadian movie rating system.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Jerry Maguire,
he did. Jerry did the guy. I'm glad you did.
I went now, I was like, I want to say about rating. Like, well, the problem was you could have full-on softcore porn, which probably would be on television at 10, and you could have giant neon purple tits in the Times Square. I mean, quite literally, giant neon, like, hands smacking an ass and purple tits. That's our Times Square. And movies could be full-frontal nudity pornography, G. If a single round was fired, PG-16.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. So I'm talking strong R's, rated G. Where I got caught flat-footed with my pants, like I'm going on like, oh boy, this is a long sex scene in my day, and I'm right next to me. And it's rated G. At that point, the movie pool.
You got to have some responsibility to go, hey, we got to add some gunshot in this.
Yeah, even if it's like
we don't want to get on this movie.
No, but they just consider themselves open-minded, and so they end up with an unbelievably high teen pregnancy rate, the highest abortion rate in industrialized world, very comparable actually to the Black American community, one of the highest dropout rates in French Canada, and, a completely marriage-less, fatherless household. But they end up with all these problems because they're so open-minded. And guns bad, but why are you Americans so tied up about sex? Well, we're not. We're not. But you have a pornography culture, and you vilify people who want to protect their household with a handgun. So it's just so warped.
And if you do accidentally get married, you can't take your husband's name.
You're not allowed.
Not allowed.
Accidentally married?
Yeah. It's a joke.
Yeah. No. If you just step in a file in French Canada, if you sell a wedding ring, it was guaranteed an English person, which was about 40% of the province.
They don't get married?
Don't get married.
It's called chefing.
It's still called that.
Wow. Do you remember, I don't know if it was research for your speech or what, I remember talking to the movie rating people. I said, let me get this straight. Your organization is funded by taxpayers. And your only reason to be is to lower standards by at least 2 degrees from Hollywood, already liberal Hollywood?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I suppose you're right.
Finally, except guns. I remember like Jerry Maguire, G. I mean, I remember films that were G, like so many films that were G, and then something like I Spy with Eddie Murphy and almost would be PG-16 because of some explosions.
Buddy cop movies, yeah.
Buddy cop movies. So, yeah. All right, final chat. So I know we've gone long today. All right, final chat from Agricos. If Dems have taken the least popular position on every major topic, how quickly does the left change tactics to hiding their goals and values? Do they have another path to victory? No, they don't. That's what they'll do. Like I said, it's really important to be able to identify it. And more importantly, it's really important to be able to identify it in people who are in your own ranks or who claim to be.
Mm-hmm.
You see it right now. I think it was on Pierce Morgan. Somebody said, well, actually, I've always been conservative. Like, you were on this show
campaigning for both Biden and then Kamala. And you'll see these people out of their own this self-preservation instinct trying to claim that they are amongst you or trying to extend an olive branch. Learn to laser in on the questions. Laser in on the questions to see if it's, okay, well then where do you believe West begins? Okay, then what's the appropriate amount in taxes? Okay, is the Second Amendment absolute? Then you support people's God-given right to self-defense, to preservation? Whatever the issue is. Okay, so how many genders are there? Just laser in on the questions. And yeah, I'm not saying that everything's going to be reduced to a yes or no answer, but you get a pretty good starting off point. Because you have a lot of people out there who make their livings as talking heads or going out and conning people into believing that they're concerned. And if you ask these questions, there is not one on which they will give you a definitive.
You've got to be fucking kidding me. Oh my God. God. You've got to be fucking kidding me. This is so funny. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you do? He's going to get in the van and drive off. I know he is. What all these fucking drivers do. Seriously? I know, he's turning around. He's going to run over, huh? See? People just drive the fuck by. Maybe not. You just go by. You have got to be fucking kidding me. Everyone waited to see it. Everyone waited to see what he was fucking doing on that screen. Nobody bothered. Well, yeah, I know someone's going to follow you. No. It didn't look like it. You're just sitting in the road to begin with and you realize it's a surface. Just asking. Yeah, so I need to get started. Yeah. Oh, okay. That person needs to go to prison or be put down. Oh, without that. Oh my God. What is wrong with black people? They don't seem to value life very much at all, do they? Are you talking about the driver or her? The driver. Oh, the driver, yeah. You didn't see it. How can you not fucking see it? How can you not stop? How do you drive the truck over her again? Her head. I think you drove over her fucking head. I did not see you. He's not American. Chester. What's the first to me? I don't know, but it's obviously in the area. That's What? That's not our song, so it didn't happen yet. That is just fucking amazing. Amazing? That's wonderful. Put it on. It's like, come here and help me. Yep.
Horrifying, and it's in a relatively quiet, low-traffic neighborhood. Take a look at this intersection here. It's what you're feeling happened around 9:30 last night. Neighbors say that they heard the screams stabbing the cafe here. Say they watched it on the police. Now, police say that the victim in this case is trying to get ahead, but he's still much more than we were about to watch.
She's gonna be okay?
Oh my God. Harrowing home surveillance video. Yeah, that's horrible. Capturing a disturbing hit and run.
Wow.
The Greg Palcott in Tel Aviv, Israel, on the final round of the league in this case. Yeah, that is right. Night rolling on a very dramatic day in Israel. Hamas giving up
We got the lady back.
first coming out of captivity.
Yeah.
I'll show him. Hamas on that table. Crossing into Gaza and propaganda display before the handover to the grabbed by Hamas and music festival on that same terrible day. And another terror photo opportunity. All look thinner and showed some signs of illness in the past. And 36-year-old Hisham al-Saud also been held captive for a decade after he too crossed into Gaza. The three hostages brought to the IDF in Israel.
Held for a decade?
Close family members.
Wow.
Now at a hospital.
Who's that?
I know, they released some person that's been there for a decade. Yeah, I kind of tried here between the water and the birds.
Across Israel today, people celebrated amid sadness. 4 more deceased hostages are planned to release next week. After that, 60 dead and alive will still be held by Hamas. And the body of Shiri Ziva, the mother of 2 young sons, symbol of the hostage arm, has now been handed over by Hamas. An unknown woman has been brought back with the children. The Ziva's family saying today, Shiri was returned home. You're right, Brian. The first phase of the ceasefire agreement is coming week. Talks would decide the second phase. There's a lot of lives affecting.
Greg Palcott, live in Tel Aviv. Greg, thank you. So what's next in the region as phase 1 of the deal nears its end? With me now, retired U.S. Army 4-star general and Fox News senior strategic analyst, Jack Keane. General, thank you so much for being here. That is the question. The first phase is set to end on March 1st. Do you think that phase 2 will begin in this ceasefire deal?
Well, it really remains to be seen, and I'm not trying to avoid the substance of the question, but it has to do, phase 2 is really war termination phase. And that, by that I mean the IDF is supposed to leave in its entirety. Right now, they're in buffer zones inside of Gaza.
When was the wood eaten behind the cage on the window?
You have to supposed to give up governance and disarm. Both of those objectives
No, nothing
for the
about it.
IDF
What would, where, what would,
are
what?
going to come on. Neither side likely want to do that. The IDF knows full well that Prime Minister Netanyahu will likely.
But you must have
them back in
because I didn't.
if Hamas is still governing Gaza. And it's that is likely to be the case, as we can see. Hamas is demonstrating these hostage releases.
Whenever it was done.
Which is kind of but they're trying to demonstrate that they're in charge. And they're out there with their guns and their uniforms on for that kind of reception in the world. So those objectives are colliding. And I don't think for a minute that hostilities have ended in Gaza. It's really likely if there's 63 and the numbers move around the hostages.
What is this?
32 of them are likely to be dead. And if those hostages are not released by the end of the phase, which is, as you indicated, the beginning of March, Israelis will go into Gaza and to put pressure on them to release those hostages. And I'll say anyway, that they are all released and Hamas is still in charge. Israelis will go in to take that governance away from them. So hostilities, I think, are in the future. Phase 3 is the reconstruction phase, which President Trump and others have talked about in terms of the various options that we're going to have Gaza. But getting through phase 3, Brian, is really going to be very challenging.
Phase 2 calling for the release of all Israeli hostages that are male. More Palestinian prisoners will be released, and then both parties will declare cessation of hostilities, which you just laid out. Seems to be almost impossible. You know, going back to your point, General, the heart of all of this is to say that Hamas needs to be eliminated, cannot govern Gaza, and the thing that's sticking out to me is that there's nothing in this ceasefire that has guaranteed any of those main goals.
Yeah, what's been troubling certainly is who replaces Hamas if they're not going to be in charge. And, you know, there's been significant amount of hopes.
I'm in trade window still. It's in the floor.
And certainly Egypt and Jordan as well, and the Israelis. And they really have not come to consensus on what that would likely be. The Arabs would prefer it to be some form of Palestinian rule, but Mubarak cannot be trusted.
When a guy like Yak I usually close the curtain.
They know he's corrupt. They know he's been punished from him for years. He rejected every peace offer the Israelis have made when a two-state solution was on the table. And the Israelis know full well that one of the major obstacles to achieve it, a two-state solution, is Hamas and Hezbollah don't want a two-state solution. They want a one-state solution, which is the destruction of the state of Israel. So, yes, the follow-on governance and how you secure that governance and prevent whatever fighters are left from interfering with that governance that by Hamas is really the issue. And while talks are continuing on that subject offline, there hasn't been consensus. There is no plan that could be brought forth to the public writ large and to the Palestinians to provide them with some sense of what the future would be for them. And so that is a major obstacle here, Brian, for sure, and you've identified it.
General, I only have a minute left here, but what does President Trump in the White House do? President Trump has said he essentially will leave Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to do what he wants to do. What do you expect us to take a more aggressive stance?
Oh, God, I hope not.
Certainly, progress in Netanyahu's idea of going back in. If all the hostages are released, Hamas does not fulfill their part of the deal in terms of governance. They'll support back in there for that reason as well. And then the other thing on the horizon is freely, and they are talking about whether Iran voluntarily dismantles the enterprise or whether it's done by force. And both of those options are on the table.
General Jackie, thank you so much for being here. As always.
Okay.
Yeah, great talking.
You too. For more now on the role the U.S. should play abroad, let's turn to Democratic House Armed Services Committee rankings. First off, Congressman, we learned last night that President Trump deeply concerning. I know quite well, capable. There's a consistent turnover that we normally have. Now we don't have a German staff. I hear probably retired star plugged into what's going on at DOD. So I think it's disruptive. It will in the short term U.S. defense postures. We try to figure out how to move forward as will firing thousands of employees, which is concerned about.
She didn't go out when I.
Pentagon is going forward. There's a lot of reform. There's a lot of but simply firing people, especially somebody else ground, is not moving us in the direction of that effort to actually make the Pentagon. And the president would say differently. They say that they're moving away from the old policy of President Biden, including DEI policy. You mentioned with again, all reporting from Jennifer Griffin shows that so what do you make of that? Well, I mean,
Where the fuck is the good?
That's unprecedented. We've never had a chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff who's come out of retirement. Might it work? It might, but it's certainly. He's not the guy who put in place DEI programs, whatever that may mean. He's got a long and storied career doing a whole lot of things. Dismiss him. Nothing. Person, I think, is all to begin with. It's simply wrong.
Uluru.
What was his career? Chiefs, I think now it's the last 2 years.
It's the fucking side, you know, it's still open.
Ending things. In the direction that I can see. What I want to see is reform of acquisition and procurement. How do we,
You have that? Oh. No, you don't have it. Okay. Yep. Tommy! Oh no. Uh-oh, she's dying. She's dying. Where was she? Laying on here. I think maybe she's got a fucking... Oh,